Kenta Morisawa just hit his 18th home run of the season. But that's not the headline tonight. After the game, sources say Morisawa personally requested something from the front office, and the Stallions actually did it. They brought back Ben Rothbet. Not on a one-year prove-it deal. Not on a minor league invite. An unprecedented long-term contract. And as if that wasn't enough, there's a second story breaking right now. A teammate named Jared Cushing has reportedly turned on both Morisawa and manager Theo Briggs, and the fallout has resulted in a lifetime ban. What is going on with this team? Let's start with the home run, because it actually explains everything that came after. It wasn't just any home run. Morisawa was down 0-2 in the count against a reliever throwing upper 90s heat, and he didn't try to protect the plate. He sat on the fastball, got it, and put it over the right field wall like he'd called it. That's the 18th this season, and it came at a moment when the Stallions desperately needed something to go right. They'd lost 4 of their last 5. The clubhouse, by most accounts, was tense. And right after that swing, something shifted. What did you think when you heard Morisawa was the one pushing for Rothbet's return? Honestly, I think it tells you everything about where Morisawa's head is right now. This isn't a guy who just wants to hit homers and go home. He's thinking about the locker room. Rothbet was let go 18 months ago after that whole situational hitting slump, and a lot of people thought that chapter was closed for good. But here's the thing fans forget, Rothbet wasn't just a bat. He was the guy who other players went to when things got difficult. Veterans like that don't show up in a box score, but they show up in moments like the one the Stallions just had, a team that was unraveling and needed someone to hold it together. From the front office's perspective, bringing him back on a short look would have been the safe move. A long-term, unprecedented deal is a totally different statement. It says, we're not patching a hole, we're rebuilding around a culture. That's a real gamble, because Rothbet is on the back 9 of his career physically. But what he offers isn't physical anymore. It's presence. And right now, with everything that's happening with Cushing, presence might be exactly what this team is short on. Let's get into that, because this is the part that's actually shocking. Cushing has been with this organization for 6 years. He was considered one of the steadier veterans on the roster, not flashy, but reliable. So when word came out that he'd clashed with both Morisawa and manager Theo Briggs, a lot of people assumed it was a heated dugout argument that would blow over in a day. It wasn't. Multiple reports now say Cushing crossed a line that the league doesn't tolerate, and the result was a lifetime ban. That's about as serious as it gets in professional sports. What do you make of a teammate turning on 2 of the most respected figures in that clubhouse? I think people are going to want a simple villain in this story, and it's almost never that simple. Something built up over time. Guys like Cushing don't snap out of nowhere. There's usually a long runway of frustration before something like this happens. From what's being described, it sounds like Cushing felt sidelined as the team built its identity around Morisawa's rise and Briggs' new system. That doesn't excuse what he did. A lifetime ban means the league saw something serious enough that there was no walking it back. But it does explain why the tension had been building under the surface for a while, even if nobody outside the clubhouse saw it coming. And here's where it connects back to Rothbet. Bringing back a respected veteran right after losing one in disgrace isn't a coincidence, it's damage control with a purpose. The front office needed someone the room would trust immediately, no transition period, no awkward feeling out process. Rothbet already has that trust built in. He played with half this roster before. He doesn't need to win the locker room. He already has it. Now let's talk about Rothbet's own statement, because this is the piece that's making headlines beyond the sports pages. In his first comments since re-signing, Rothbet didn't just talk about being excited to be back. He went further. He openly admitted that part of why he left the first time wasn't just performance, it was friction with the organization that nobody reported on at the time. That's an unusually candid thing for a player to say in a moment that's supposed to be a celebration. Most guys in his position would stick to the script. I'm grateful for the opportunity, I love this city, I'm ready to help this team win. Rothbet didn't do that. He basically confirmed there was more to the story the first time around, without going into specifics about what exactly happened. Why would he do that now? My read is that it's strategic honesty. If he comes back and immediately plays the happy reunion card, and then 6 months from now reporters dig up the real story, he looks dishonest. By getting ahead of it himself, on his own terms, in his own words, he controls the narrative instead of letting it control him. It also sends a message to that locker room: I'm not coming back to pretend everything is fine. I'm coming back to actually fix something. Given everything that's happened with Cushing, that kind of transparency might be exactly what this team needs to hear right now. So where does this leave the Stallions? On paper, you've got a team that just lost a 6-year veteran to a lifetime ban, which is about as disruptive an event as a clubhouse can experience. But you've also got a star in Morisawa who's playing the best baseball of his career and using his influence to shape the roster, and a returning veteran in Rothbet who's choosing honesty over easy talking points on his way back in. That's not a normal week for any organization. That's the kind of week that either fractures a team permanently or becomes the moment they point back to later and say, that's when things actually changed. What happens next probably depends less on stats and more on what happens in that clubhouse over the next 2 or 3 weeks. Rothbet's deal isn't really about this season. It's a bet on what kind of team the Stallions become over the next several years, with Morisawa as the face of it and Rothbet as the steadying hand behind him. Whether that bet pays off, we'll find out. But one thing is clear: after a week like this, nobody in that clubhouse is treating this as just another season anymore.